So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Max Makes Maths Easy. Today we are going to do a question on commercial arithmetic. Commercial arithmetic 1. And our question reads, on a market day, this commercial arithmetic 1, it entails rates of work, proportions, rates of work. What is that topic called? Rates of work, ratios, and proportions. On a market day, Abdul had 32 goats, while Chebet had 56 goats. Chebet sold twice as many goats as Abdul. After the sale, the number of the goats that Abdul and Chebet remained with was in the ratio 3:5, respectively. So we have 3 questions, and part A is determine the total number of goats sold by Abdul and Chebet at the market. The second question reads, Abdul and Chebet raised a total of 97,600 from the sale of goats at the market. Abdul's selling price per goat was 5% higher than that of Chebet. Determine the ratio of the earnings of Abdul to Chebet from the sale of goats. And the last question reads, Abdul decreased the selling price per goat in the ratio 19:21 for the goats that remained. So we are told to determine the new selling price per goat. So let's dig into our first question. We are going to read it again. On a market day, Abdul had 32 goats, while Chebet had 56 goats. Chebet sold twice as many goats as Abdul. So we are told Abdul, we don't know the number of goats Abdul sold, but we know the number of goats that Chebet sold. So Chebet sold twice as many goats as Abdul. So if Abdul sold Y goats, Chebet sold 2Y goats, and total goats are 2 plus 2Y plus Y, which is 3Y. Then we are further told, after the sale, the number of the goats that Abdul and Chebet remained with was in the ratio 3:5. So if Abdul sold Y goats and he had 32 goats, after sale, Abdul will remain with the total number of goats that he had minus the total number of goats that he sold. So Abdul sold Y and Chebet sold 2Y. So the total number of goats that he had was 56 minus the total number of goats that he sold is 2Y. So then we are told, then after the sale, the number of the goats that Abdul and Chebet remained with was in the ratio 3:5. So the ratio 3:5, that is Abdul to Chebet. So we are told after the sale, they remained with this ratio. So Abdul remained with 32 minus Y, and Chebet remained with 56 minus 2. Remember that is ratio. So ratio is like division. So here we will say 3/5. 3/5 is then equal to 32 minus Y over 56 minus 2Y. So equating, if we cross multiplying, we will find that 3 multiplied by 56 minus 2Y then is equal to 5 multiplied by 32 minus Y. That will become 56 multiplied by 3. That becomes 168 minus 6. 6y is equals to 32 times 5, that is 160, minus 5y. Then we take like terms together, it will be minus 6y plus 5y is equals to 160, then minus 168. So you realize here it will be a negative y, then here it will be a negative 8. So y will be 8. So if y is 8, so Abdul solved y. Abdul solved y got. So if Abdul solved y got, this means Abdul solved 8 goats. And if Chebet solved twice as many goats as Abdul, he solved 2y, and this becomes 2 times 8, which is 16 goats. So we are told to determine the total number of goats solved by Abdul and Chebet. So if Abdul, the total number becomes Abdul goats is sold plus the number of goats Chebet sold. So that will be 8 plus 16. So 8 plus 16, that becomes 24 goats. And just a reminder, this was a KCSE 2024 paper 1 question. The first question in section B, that is question number 17. So it is a 24 goats. I hope you have understood there. Then our part B question reads, Abdul and Chebet raised a total of cash 97,600 from the sale of goats at the market. Abdul's selling price per goat was 5% higher than that of Chebet. So another selling price, we don't know the selling price. And we are told Abdul's selling price per goat was 5% higher than that of Chebet. So Chebet's selling price, let it be X, and Abdul's selling price will be Abdul's selling price per goat was 5% higher than that of Chebet. So if Chebet's selling price was X, then Abdul's selling price will be 100%. This is 100% over that of Chebet's. You see? So let's confirm here. If 100% is equals to X, what about 105? 105 will be 105 times X multiplied by 100. So this is what we have here. It will be 1.05 X. So this is the selling price of Abdul. So if this is the selling price of Abdul, we will say, so Abdul 1.05 X. So Abdul sold 1.50 X times the number of goats he sold, that is multiplied by 8. This becomes 1.05 times 8. This becomes 8.4 X. This is the amount Abdul sold the goats, 8.4 X. And so Chebet, which is his selling price was X, and he sold 16 goats. So he sold 16 Y. So the total number he sold 16. We said Y was the number of goats, but X is the selling price, so he sold 16 X. So the total price is 8.4 X plus 16 X. So it is 8.4 plus 16x, which becomes 24.4x. So that is the total price, and we are told the total price from the sale was shillings 97,600. So the total, which is 24.4x, is equal to 97,000. So we want to find the selling price. So the selling price is 97,000 divided by 24.4. So that is 97,000 divided by 24.4. 97,000 divided by 24.4. Sorry. 97,600. See? 97,600 divided by 24.4. That becomes 4,000. So this is the selling price, 4,000. So we are told to determine the ratio of the earnings of Abdul to Chebet. So Abdul is equals to, we are told here Abdul is equals to 8.4x. So that becomes 8.4 times 4,000. That is 8.4 times 4,000. That is 33,600. And Chebet sold at 16x. That becomes 16 times 4,000. 16 times 4,000. That becomes 64,000. So the ratio of Abdul to Chebet is 33,600 is to 64,000. And remember, I told you ratios is like division, so it is 33,600 divided by 64,000. So it is 33,600 divided by 64,000. So the ratio is 21 divided by 40, which means the ratio is 21 is to 40. 21 is to 40. So that is the ratio of the earnings of Abdul to Chebet from the sales of goods. Third question. So the third and final question reads: Abdul decreased the selling price per goat in the ratio 19 is to 21. So Abdul decreased the selling price per goat. So Abdul's selling price was 8.4x, which we found x as 4,000. So it was 8.4 times 4,000, which we got as 33,600. We got as 33,600. Yes. Abdul decreased the selling price per goat. So per goat was 4,000. And we are told it decreased in the ratio 19 is to 21. Abdul's was 19 is to 20. Abdul's ratio selling price is here. Abdul's selling price is 1.05x. That, remember here we said Abdul's selling price is 1.05x. That was his selling price. And we are told Abdul decreased the selling price per goat in the ratio 19 is to 21. So if the previous or the original, if original is equal to 1.05x, and we found our x to be 4,000. So our original becomes 1.05 times 4,000. 1.05 times 4,000, this becomes 4,200, and it decreased by in 4,200. So if original is equals to 4,200, Abdul decreased the selling price per goat in the ratio 19:21 for the goats that remain. Determine the new selling price. So if the original was this and the ratio was decreased from 19 with the ratio 19:21, so we will say 19/21 times the original price 4,200 gives us the new selling price. I hope you have understood there. The ratio multiplied by the original gives us the new selling price. So 19/21 times 4,200 gives us the new selling price, which is shillings 3,800. Hope you have understood the question, and the question awards you 10 marks to completion. So welcome to Max Next Maths Easy, and enjoy mathematics. Welcome.